Welcome back to the Aussie Shed, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of Project Fairlady. So today, I'm going to start the actual disassembly of the engine for real. We'll get all the covers off, we'll get the cams out, we'll get the heads off, and we'll start delving deeper and deeper into the engine. So I'll throw the camera on a time lapse. I'll start stripping this thing down, so let's get into it. Alright, well that's all the cams out. A couple of things of note. There was one loose bolt on the exhaust cam on this side. Went to undo one of them. Finger tight, loose, vibrated loose, never done up properly, no idea. Also a washer missing on one of the cam bearing caps. Had a bolt but no washer. And one of the bolts looks like it was damaged before it was put in. You probably saw me struggling right at the start around here on the intake cams on this right hand side to get the first bolt out. That's because the bolt was damaged and had been put in anyway, and it was jamming on the cam bearing cap, so that'll need to be replaced. But yeah, it's starting to overall point towards a bit of a sloppy assembly. The fact that there's a washer missing, and obviously something wasn't torqued up properly for something to come loose, and no one in their right mind would put a damaged bolt back in. Anyway, I just thought I'd interrupt for that. So let's get these heads off. Alrighty, well I've just finished a bit of cleanup work so we can see a little bit clearer as what's going on here. A few things that I've noticed on the block in particular. There's a bit of scoring. Camera doesn't really show it. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it down there. Number 5 is probably the worst. And number 2 down here, a bit of scoring on the bores. It's not too bad. It doesn't feel very deep. I've got a pretty good feeling about it. I think it should hone out. Rest of the cylinders are pretty good. Obviously, it's all this outside sort of face here where you're going to get sort of scoring from the pressure of the crank forcing the pistons in that direction. But everything else is looking pretty good. It's just 3 and 5, unfortunately. 2 and 5, unfortunately. 3 and 5. Yes, 2 and 5. Yeah, she's been rubbing a bit there. I don't know what the go is. We'll get it all apart and see. But you know, overall, not sort of super horrible, not too horrible. I've cleaned all the like carbon and stuff off the top of the pistons just with a rag. I haven't gotten too serious with them. Obviously, the pistons are coming out anyway. But there's no marks from valves contacting or anything like that. So that's all sort of pretty good. Heads. Mate, heads are a little bit of a different story. Okay, so our right-hand head, this guy here, has had the spark plugs deshrouded, right? You can see there. But the left-hand head doesn't. Spark plug holes are still shrouded. Yes, I don't know what's going on there. They both have the same valves in them. They both have the same shitty porting job, which you can sort of see here. She's rough as guts, mate. Pretty gnarly, rough as guts. Hopefully I can fix it all. You can see all the sort of all the dark spots where there's kind of big gouges in there. But realistically, what I have to do is just measure all the intake ports and all the exhaust ports and everything. Look for irregularities and, you know, see if I can get everything consistent again, because it does look like there's quite a lot of irregularities. And unfortunately, if everything isn't consistent, if you don't have the same size opening in all the ports, if one's been taken out further and all that sort of stuff will be gouges, it's pretty hard to make everything run perfectly and run perfectly even. Same with this spark plug hole thing here. Why in the friggin' hell would you deshroud one and not the other? If anyone's got a clue, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. And here you go. This is why you don't put shitloads of silicone on stuff when you assemble it. This is how it came out. So we've got this water jacket here completely blocked with silicone, and this here had this big stringy bit of silicone that just pulled out of the water jacket on the block and is embedded into the head gasket. So yeah, people weren't lying when they said you know, don't be friggin' stupid with your silicone because you'll block stuff up. And that is just purely a water jacket side. So if you think of oil galleries, which are generally a lot smaller, silicone can be a real problem. If you cut off oil flow to something, you are going to destroy your engine. Be careful out there, guys. Be bloody careful. Anyhow, this is where I am with it. The cams are over here. The cams seem okay. So, you know, it's a bit crap, but overall it's not the end of the world. I'm pretty sure the block will come up all right with a hone. I'll take to the machine shop and they can have a look at it and tell me what they reckon. So the block has been bored. It's 87.5, so it's only like the sort of first overbore. So that's kind of good. But gee, all the water jackets and everything are just so blocked up with crap. It's quite amazing, really. Block looks like it's been decked a few times. There's barely anything left of the engine number on here, and the heads have been really shaved as well. You can see where it sort of has the 40p in the raised section here. That's just been taken off completely, so we've got OP. Well, actually, it's not really a 4, it's a bit of a weird thing. It just sort of shows that they've been, you can see this one's got a little bit more of the casting remaining there. So the heads have probably been decked a couple of times. So I've got to measure it all, obviously. I'm, again, still at the early stages with everything. So I may have to use thicker head gaskets just to bring everything back up to where it sort of should be. These morons obviously would not have ever even thought of something like that. It had standard head gaskets in it, which there's nothing wrong with standard head gaskets, but I don't think there are any other thicknesses available in them. I'm pretty sure they only come in one size. I could be wrong, I've got to look into that. But I know with the MLS gaskets you can get different thicknesses to allow for, you know, the head and the block being skimmed and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, a lot more to do. So at least this is sort of cleanish now. Oh god, it was a friggin' mess. Down in here, looked like rats had been living in the valley. But I've got to flip this over now, and we'll start getting the getting the crank and pistons and rods and everything out of it. So that's where I'll be going next. Okie dokie. Right guys, so that's pretty stripped out now. We've basically got a bare block there. It's the bottom end's actually quite good. The crank and rod bearings are, oh, as you can see, they're almost like brand new. Rod bearings, as I say, all awesome, like pretty much brand new. You could actually reassemble this with the existing bearings and just put them back in it. So yeah, that's you know, reasonably positive. So now I've just got a huge cleanup job ahead of me. So yeah, a lot of work to do cleaning up this block. I've got to get all these Welsh plugs out, clean out the water galleries mainly because there was so much crud floating around in there. And as I say, just measure, clean everything up, measure everything, clean it, measure it. Once I get it all pretty clean, I'll take the block to a machine shop. I'll get them to have a look at it and see what they reckon about that sort of light scoring that's in a couple of the bores, whether it's an easy cleanup or, you know, just sort of see what they recommend. And yeah, you know, measure the ring gaps that are in there. I'll probably end up putting new rings through it anyway, or, you know. So yeah, then again, it's just measure before I get to the reassembly of this thing. I will measure all the clearances, obviously, all the bearing clearances on everything, and yeah, just do a lot of cleanup stuff. Anyhow, we're certainly in a different place than when we started. Alrighty.